Hi everybody, this is Ellie. Thanks so much for joining me today for my planner and journal lineup for 2023. I want to say here at the outset that this is just an overview of what I'll be using next year. None of these are set up yet, so there won't be any flip throughs, just a kind of brief discussion of how I'll be using each of these systems and hopefully how they'll work together. So these three that I have in front of me will be my main systems. We'll start here with the Take a Note in the A5 size and an A5 Hobonichi memo book to go with it. This will be my planner. If I can only get into one system every day, this is it. I'll continue to use it in a kind of bullet journal style. I'll use my same key, my same signifiers. I will still include collections, whether in the empty space in these daily spots or in this insert here. And this is the system from which everything else stems. I am in a Hobonichi A6 for my journal and memory keeper again, but I have switched from the full year English version to the full year Japanese version, and I'm really excited about that. I've had the Avec before, which is in Japanese as well, but it's split into two books. So this is my first year with the full year Techo, and it's just beautiful. It's a lovely notebook. I love I'm going to call it the original Tomoe River paper. I'm sure there were other iterations, but they were before my planner time. So I'm very excited about this. My current journal, I haven't been in it lately at all, but in my current journal, I memory keep in kind of large chunks because I do like to include ephemera, washi, stickers, all that fun stuff, and I don't like taking that out every night. So this really only works for me in tandem with the memory keeping that I do in my daily planner. I'm thinking of trying to establish more of a routine with this and making it easier to get into more often, but we'll see. I'll be playing around for sure and looking forward to it. This here is a change. So I've mentioned it on Instagram, but not on the channel yet. And instead of using the Cultivate What Matters power sheets, which I've used for the last 2 or 3 years now, I am switching to a different goal planner. I have really enjoyed the power sheets and their goal setting system, but they were acquired this year by another company that doesn't align with my values. So I've decided to support another company and try something new. Cindy Guentert-Baldo has a whole video where she articulates her thoughts on it much better than I ever could, so I will link that up above. And it is also through Cindy's channel that I came across this planner. She does a ton of reviews of goal planners, traditional planners, and everything in between, really. So I was really excited and a little bit skeptical when I came across this one. So for me, my goal planner was between this one here and the Moxie Life planner, which I've also heard great things about. The thing about the Moxie Life planner is that it seemed to rely a lot on kind of rating certain areas of your life. I'm not sure if that's a correct terminology. I've never actually used a Moxie Life planner, but it definitely seemed like there was some of that. And I know for myself that can be daunting. First of all, I have trouble choosing ratings, even though I did some of it for the power sheet system, but the Moxie Life looked like it just had a little bit more questionnaires, a little more tallying of numbers and kind of working off of that. And I could see how that would be so functional, but I know myself, and right now that would be, I think, more overwhelming to me than anything else. So this is called the Dreambook and Planner, and it is by a company called the Dragon Tree. Yes. So here is the information here. You know what? I will link Cindy's video on this too, because I'm not going to flip through this entire thing. But I will just say it is very introspective. And I think it might be a little more woo-woo than what I typically gravitate towards. I have thoughts on manifesting and the power of positive thinking, but as with all of my systems, I am going to take what serves me and leave what doesn't. So I am really excited to give this a try. I've started with some of the prep work, that's what I'm calling it because I'm used to it, and there's a lot. So I will probably be doing this for the rest of the month. And the way that this has worked in the past for me, goal setting and planning, is that I have ended up transferring any kind of habits or monthly tasks or weekly goals that I want right into my planner itself. So that would be in the take a note this year. That being said, I'm not actually certain what that will look like in the context of this system, so it will be a total learning experience. The other thing is that this is a Dreambook and planner. So the company has an option just to get the Dreambook part, so the goal setting part, but it is in a bound notebook, and I read that it doesn't lay flat, and it also doesn't have their most up-to-date layout and fonts and formatting. So the price difference between just the goal setting and the goal setting and planner was, I think, under $10. So I decided to get kind of their most updated version. So the planner itself is actually pretty interesting. So you have the monthlies here, and then they have this kind of weekly overview, and it has ideas for rituals, habit tracking, some kind of reflections for yourself, just an area for any sort of thoughts. And then it has this weekly overview spread. I don't expect to use this as a planner, and I'm okay if these pages don't get used. I have also considered, though, that this could be a great space for me to kind of do stream of consciousness writing, something along the lines of morning pages, or even for me, just kind of emotional venting or dumping that I never do in my journal itself. For this journal and memory keeper, I want it to be more of a memory keeper. I want it to be something where I can flip through the pages and have an idea of what was going on in my life at that time. So it might be just details from that day, events, it might be feelings, it might be quotes or TV shows that are speaking to me. But I don't want it to be a space where I'm working through anything. I have learned that I don't ever want to revisit or keep that for myself. So that might be something that I do in these columns. I mean, I might play around with it. Maybe I will try and fill in some of these spaces sometimes if this is calling to me, if I just think that this framework would help. And like I said, it might be totally blank. So it has this, and then I think throughout the year it has spaces to, touch base on your projects. I'm not an expert on this, guys, so I really can't give you too much detail, but check out Cindy's video if you are interested in it. It's big. It's a lot bigger than I expected, but it's going to be really fun to try something new. And I will say that I think I've filled out maybe like 4 pages so far, but it has already led me to some insights about myself that I had never kind of explicitly gotten to before. So we will see, but I'm hopeful that this will be a good fit. So these are my 3 main systems for 2023. I do also have this 5-year Hobonichi journal. So this started for me in, 2021. And I have not been the least bit consistent with this. I start out sometimes at the beginning of the year with good intentions, and then they just peter out pretty quickly. I have considered getting a 5-year undated version, not from Hobonichi, obviously, from another company, maybe Midori, but I have this. I have the beautiful notebook, I have the beautiful cover, and I am going to see, once again, if I can fit it into my system. If I can't, then I can't, then it doesn't work for me, but I have it. So I'm at the point where anything I get in here is better than nothing, even if I only have, 10 days out of a year. 10 days is better than no days for me in terms of trying to capture some memories. So this is more about building in a routine and a habit than anything else. And ideally, I would love to get into this daily. Knowing myself, it might not start out that way. Again, I will be able though to hopefully pull from my planner if I do miss any days or forget. We'll see. I'm not putting any pressure on myself. Like I said, I already have it. I just have to consciously remind myself sometimes that it's okay that I have 2 mostly blank years. I just need to start where I am and continue on. If I think about those blank spaces, I could get in my own head, it could bother me, and you know what? There's blank spaces. It really is okay, and I am trying to meet myself where I am, and this will be out again on my desk for 2023. And sorry for any glare, but I do also have these here. So this is the Hobonichi Weekly Supplement, and this is the Hobonichi Mega Weeks in a cover from Espresso Co. This is just so beautiful. So I mentioned during my Hobonichi haul that these I did not buy with an intended purpose. I always consider the Hobonichi Weeks as my backup planner, and it also has often transformed into something else. I have one from last year that is now my reading journal. I am really considering using this as a health tracker next year, but I'm also wondering if I will use it enough to be effective if it is a separate system than my planner itself. So I really need to think about it some more. I've gotten some great suggestions from friends who use it for health and wellness. And I know it could be set up in a really, really efficient and functional way. I just don't know if I would use it. So it's a thought. I have it. I'm glad that I have it, but we will see. I mean, again, I'll get back to you guys when I actually start setting things up and know more specifically how I'll use them. But that's the thought for this so far. And this one, I'm not sure. I don't have any thoughts at the moment, and I'm not going to worry about it. I want to get all of my main setups going, and then we will see how these factor in. And that's pretty much it. The last little system I will show you is one that I haven't shown before. It's not really a planner, but it is something that I'm in pretty often. This is a Chic Sparrow Earl Grey in the pocket size that I have had obviously for years. I love this little guy. And this is just something that I have set up for Happy Mail and for passwords. So this is a little, let me see if it has any information. This is just a little book, like it says, for passwords. There it is. I found it at Chapters a couple of years ago, and you can see it just has the alphabetized index, and you can put information here. My memory is terrible, so this is super, super helpful for me. So I'm in and out of this a lot because, like I said, I forget things, and then also for work, I have to update my password every so often, and it is not easy for me, guys, to kind of make those jumps once they change. So this is great. This is an old sticker I've had for years from Eureka Art Studio, and this is just a field notes book. And I keep the addresses in here for when I send Happy Mail to friends. Sometimes I try to track what I send and when I sent it because I fear that I repeat myself sometimes, but hopefully it's all good. So this is just a fun little setup that I am actually in and out of on a pretty regular basis. I do have old setups that are still set up, but I'm not actually using any of them at the moment. So when I think of 2023, this is what I'm talking about. I'm really excited to get into all of these. This feels manageable and exciting to me, which is a really good feeling going into the new year. I am looking forward to setting up this Take a Note specifically. The other ones, like, I won't do much setup for this at all. I'll probably just put in the monthly stickers like I did last year, and then just think on if I want to make slightly more consistent spreads in here. I'm not going to hold myself to it, but I do really like the idea of having a basic idea of how I would like the page to look or function for days when, you know, I don't have any sort of ticket stubs or pictures or receipts or anything like that. So we will see, but in terms of setup, I don't think I will do much for this. Not a ton for this either, but definitely more, because here I get to put in the holidays, the birthdays, all of that fun stuff, and I am really looking forward to it. I have also ordered a couple of covers from Mansoura Atelier, so I'm not sure if they'll be here before the new year. My guess is no, but fingers crossed. I am really, really hoping that they come. I got an A5 for this guy and an A6. I have some gorgeous Hobonichi covers in A6 as well that I will use, but I don't have any leather A6 covers. So I did pick one up from her because it's been on my list for months and months, and I just saved up and ordered it all together. I'll be sure to share all of that with you as well when it arrives. I'd love to know if you have your lineup settled yet, if you know what you'll be starting 2023 in, and is it more or less systems than you were using last year? For me, I think this is the same. Yeah, goal planner, planner, and memory keeper. These are the big ones. This is the exact same as last year. This isn't a planner, this is as needed, and these are bonuses and kind of fail safes. So I had 3 last year, I have 3 this year. I know that I don't think I can go up to any more than this without, well, basically without falling off on some of them. This goal one, I'm not sure how often I'll be in it in terms of goal setting. Feels like I'll do a lot of the work now before the year starts and then just check in. This I'll be in daily, and this I will hopefully come to daily, weekly, somewhat consistently, and this guy too, but my yearly journal for me takes priority over the 5-year journal. So we will see. Thank you guys so much for hanging out with me today, and if you enjoyed this video, please feel free to like and subscribe. Thanks again, and I'll see you next time.